My brother hauled me to court over the villa I bought with 8 years saved. One moment I stood on the dock at Lake Martin, deed in my bag. The next I was staring at papers saying I'd stolen a family legacy. When I asked why, Casey didn't blink. That lake house is mine. Dad, Grant, added, he deserves it more. Mom, Lydia, nodded like it had been settled before I could spell my name. I didn't scream. I said a line and watched it sink. My name is Mara Ellison. I'm 34, a senior product manager in Atlanta, and I bled for that house. We grew up in a brick ranch in East Montgomery, where fairness was a rumor. From the day Casey came home, everything tilted. Dad played mayor of a town with 1 voter, Mom kept the parade marching. My achievements were weather, there, then gone. At 17, I earned a full scholarship to Auburn. I ran home with the letter. Casey used it as kindling while Dad sighed, "Don't upset your brother." I printed a replacement and learned not to bring trophies into rooms that wanted excuses. College still cost money. I poured coffee at dawn, tutored at noon, waited tables at midnight. I hid tips in labeled envelopes. They vanished. 2 weeks later, Casey rolled up in a red Mustang while Dad boasted and Mom whispered, "Family shares. Don't make a scene." So I stopped expecting anything. I worked. I saved. I built a life out of no. 8 years later, I stood on my dock, key in hand. That night, chat stayed silent, and Casey's video accused me of stealing what was his. They declared war. I started keeping receipts. 2 Fridays later, Kira drove me from Atlanta for my first full night at the lake. Windows cracked, playlist loud, the water copper under sunset. Floodlights flared as we pulled in, and caught Casey kneeling at my door, hoodie up, a bump key between his teeth. A black duffel sagged open beside him. Kira killed the engine. The ring chime boomed. Casey bolted, tripped on his bag, and ate gravel. Mrs. Booker next door, retired nurse, nerves of steel, was already on her porch. Tallapoosa County, active break-in at 118. Cove Hollow. Camera has him in 4K. Deputies arrived in 7 minutes. They walked my brother back in cuffs while he wheezed that it was his property and I was setting him up. The lead deputy had processed my closing. "Press charges?" he asked. I looked at my brother, at the duffel with a sleeping bag, 2 cheap vodkas, a copy of my boat keys, and printouts of the listing with mine scrawled in red. Something in me cooled, like iron in water. "No arrest tonight," I said. "Just the report and a trespass warning that sticks." Dad called 17 times before dawn. I let the phone ring into quiet. Back in the city, I sent the footage to Dylan, our security friend. He watched once and texted a name: Selena Torres. Monday, I sat across from Selena. Navy suit, blunt questions. I slid bank records, the deed, the police file. Then an uncle I barely saw, Walt, arrived with a fireproof box. Inside, the original grandparent trust, equal halves at 30, plus a later amendment stamped refused. Selena didn't smile. "We don't defend," she said. "We end this." We filed. Court was set for Tuesday in Russell County. Tuesday, the courtroom smelled like lemon oil and endings. Casey sat with our parents and their lawyer, Moss. Selena rose. Exhibit A, and the screen showed ring footage. My brother under the floodlight, bump key, duffel, the red mine. Mrs. Booker's 911 call played steady as lake water. Exhibit B. Walt identified the 2016 trust, equal halves at 30, notarized, witnessed, and the 2019 amendment our grandparents had scrawled refused across in red. A stack of letters Grandma wrote me, returned unopened with Dad's stamp, sat like bricks on the bench. Moss tried syrup. Family promises, moral intent, the baby of the family. Selena answered with ledgers, wire receipts, payroll stubs, money in, money out, my house bought with my work. I testified last. Moss squinted. "Couldn't you gift the home and restore harmony?" I met Judge Rivera's eyes. "Harmony isn't surrender, it's respect. I won't fund my own erasure." The judge wrote, then spoke, Claims dismissed with prejudice, title quieted to the defendant. On counterclaims, judgment for the defendant, fees, damages, sanctions. The gavel popped like a bone set right. Outside, sunlight flashed off pickups. My parents folded into silence. Casey studied the concrete, hoping it would forgive him. I said the only thing left. I choose myself. From now on, we're strangers. No one followed. Weeks later, the wire hit. Damages, sanctions, fees. The lake was a sheet of hammered gold. Kira salted rims. Walt brought peach cobbler. Selena kicked off her heels and laughed. I breathed cedar and water and newness. I'm 35 next month. I own the deed and the quiet in my chest. Every morning, light crosses my room and lands on my face like a kept promise. I made it home at last.